I'm Robbie Swale, and I'm making this video today as part of my work supporting coaches to grow their impact and grow their businesses. I met my coach this week, and I spent the first 10 minutes of it quizzing her about the intricacies of how she runs her business, because I love talking about coaching. And we had to kind of haul ourselves back to doing the work that we were there for. And that's what this video is about, why it's important for coaches to do their own work, why they might want to strongly consider receiving coaching. We hauled ourselves back to it though, and we did that. But I love talking about coaching. One of the reasons I love coaching and talking about it is because I think it's an incredibly important tool for creating change in the world. And I get frustrated and sad, or I just feel like there's this sense that there are coaches out there who haven't yet created the business they want or the lifestyle to go with it that will give them the lifeblood to keep doing this important work which they have the talent for in the world. So this video is partly I'm making it, partly I do all this work with coaches. I write for them, I make videos, I run a group program for coaches because I want to contribute to that. Partly this video and that work is about me leaning into my zone of genius. My zone of genius, at least as I understand it now, is about sharing myself deeply, with love, with others, with the world. So that's my aim for these videos. This is part of a series of 3, and they're about me sharing my learning, my experience, my beliefs about 3 of the key steps or stages or fundamental parts of the mixture that happen in a successful coach's journey. As a coach successfully creates the business, the life that deep down they really want. So the first video in this series was about commitment. It was about how it's making a commitment to coaching for the long term and not a belief and not confidence, which I think is mainly a con. It's the commitment that will make a real difference to you in creating a successful business. The second video is about shift from victim to creator, from feeling under threat in our business to trusting that we can create it. This video is about a third vital part of the mix. If you want to do work supporting people to learn, to grow, to develop, to transform, then it's absolutely vital that you are learning and growing and developing and transforming. And the way to do that is to do your own work. I learned about the importance of this early in my journey. I learned about it from The Prosperous Coach, a brilliant book by Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler. One of the things they say in that book is, would you trust a doctor who told you they never went to the doctor? I learned it from Rich later on when he said something like, you can't take a client any deeper than you have been able to go yourself. And how you go deeper is to do your own work. I learned it from the wisdom of psychotherapy, which I looked into as a career before I dived into coaching. Because in psychotherapy, if you're doing training, if you're training to be a psychotherapist, almost everywhere you have to receive psychotherapy. And it's in some ways it's requirements of being memberships of governing bodies, and that's because they understand deeply in psychotherapy that doing our own work is really important. And particularly if you're sitting doing deep one-on-one transformational work with someone, you need to understand yourself so that you know what that's going on in you is about you, what is about somebody else, and what is about the relationship between you. I also learned about it from Jamie Smart. He's a coach and a writer. And he said coaches often came to him and said, with marketing problems, I haven't got enough clients, how do I market my work? When he got to it, when he did the work with them, it was mostly what he called a grounding problem. And grounding, as I understand it, certainly as I see it, is about being grounded in reality with a deep understanding of that, a deep understanding of what makes up reality and how it works, and of yourself in that reality. And when you have that deep understanding, and you get that deep understanding by doing your own work, then your business development problems look very different. So I'm going to share some of the advantages of doing your own work, some of the ways it pays off in this video. And I'm going to start with 2 stories from my journey. And they both come from a time when they were key in me stepping from being a part-time coach into being a full-time coach. I'd made the commitment, like I talked about in the first video already. I was coaching 2 days a week, working in an office 3 days a week, And I got to the point where I was making as much money from the coaching as I was from my time in my office. And I knew the time to be full-time was coming. And around that time, 2 offers to me appeared out of the blue. The first was an email, and the email said, "Hi Robbie, I'm running this leadership program next year, and I'd love for you to be the lead coach on it." No, I mean, my mind blew. But not only that, it came from a woman, Jo Hunter, who I was inspired by, thought was amazing, and did and does do amazing work in the world. So I thought about it, and then I said yes. And only later on did I feel secure enough to ask Jo, because why did you offer this to me? Because in my mind at that point, we'd met 4 or 5 times. And I was just starting out. Why would she choose me? And the answer she gave, and Jo, if you watch this, you can comment on whether this is true or not. The answer she gave was, "I just got a feeling that you'd be a great person to do some work with. There's something about you." That something, I believe, was the fact that I had done my own work. And I believe so hard that was what made the difference in another role that arrived around the same time. I felt too young, too inexperienced. In fact, according to their role description, I was too inexperienced for this offer that came in. But when I met the people from the organization, they said yes. They offered me the role. And I believe what they could do was feel me in that moment. They could feel my presence. They could feel my grounding. And they could feel that because I'd done my own work. Now, neither of these things was what enabled me to be a full-time coach, but they did enable me to do that with a sense of security, a sense of space in which to create, to stay in the space of creator and to create my business. So, does doing your own work have to be coaching? No. Does it have to be coaching with me? Certainly not. When Jo offered me that role, I'd been receiving coaching, paying for coaching for maybe 16, 17 months. But I was about 4 years into a concerted journey of doing my own work. And as a sidebar, this is great news for new coaches. Because some people, when they come to coaching, they're coming to developing themselves, to doing their own work for the first time. But some people come to it after decades of doing their own work, deep work sometimes. And that will be part of your journey as a coach. It'll be part of why people love working with you. So it doesn't have to be coaching. It can be whatever feels right for you in this moment. I've done my work. I've done it through reading and listening and watching. I've done it through therapy. I've done it through group programs and training and one-on-one coaching. I've done it through reflection and conversation. I've done it through doing my own work out in the world, taking action. I've done it through writing. And yes, I've done it through coaching. The question that might be rising in you now is, what makes something count? When is something you're doing count as your own work? Well, for the purposes of what I'm talking about here, here's what I believe. And it takes us back to Robert Holden, who I quoted. I pretty much got the quote right in the last video, and I'll give you it again. The next level of success is available to you if you dare to be more fully who you really are. So the first part of what makes doing your own work count is that it's about you daring to be more fully who you really are. And that takes courage. And the second part is that you take that learning about who you really are out into the world and you take action. And that takes courage too. But boy, there are some rewards. So there are so many benefits of doing your own work. I'm going to talk mainly to 2 of them now. The first, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're committed to coaching, then you're committed to being an entrepreneur. It's almost impossible to be a coach without being an entrepreneur. But even if you're not a coach, being an entrepreneur, if you run a business, it is hard. There are challenges. And if you run a sole business, something you care deeply about, and for many coaches that's true, then it's even harder. And you will come face to face with all your doubts, all your fears, all your insecurities, all your patterns. all the wonderful and terrible edges of growth for you as a human. And that's really tough. It's hard to hold the commitment. It's hard to stay in trust and not in threat when you're being faced by these challenges. But the beauty of doing your own work is that's what enables you to turn those challenges, the whole journey of an entrepreneur, into a journey of growth, of learning, of development, and of transformation. And suddenly each of those challenges, if you're doing your own work, becomes an opportunity for growth. And you'll be faced with many. And what a gift that is. The second reason I want to talk to you about why doing your own work is important is that it will take you to the places where you will create work. Because if you keep doing your own work, daring to be more fully who you really are, well, first, like I said in the last video, the people that might work with you will see you more. They'll see who you really are, and they'll be able to know. They'll get that feeling. Yes, this person is right for me. But more than that, as you do your own work, you'll start doing the things that you've always deep down really wanted to do. You'll start picking up the dreams you've forgotten. You'll start making changes in your life. Not only will that inspire people, but as you do those things that you've always wanted to do, as you go those places you wanted to do, you'll meet the people who also want to do those things, want to go those places. And chances are, you can do some powerful work with them. One of the ways that I have done my work recently evolved into a practice from doing my own work. A little cycle there. And that's online writing. I didn't set out to write articles online because it was a thing that coaches should do or a good marketing thing to do. I didn't even set out to do it because I'd always dreamed of being a writer. So that's not how I remember it. But I was doing my own work. I noticed that I was really scared of sharing myself online. Commenting on Facebook, liking on Twitter, certainly sharing any part of myself. I could feel it physically. I was anxious. So I brought that to my coach, Joel. And we did work on it over weeks, maybe months. And in the end, we designed a practice. And Joel, he used to be an artist, a visual artist before he was a coach. He said, I always used to like creating paintings in a series. Why don't you create a series of something? So I did. I created a series of, at first, 5 pieces of writing. We wanted to take off the fear, the barrier, the way I was getting in my own way around getting it right. So, well, why don't you give yourself a limited amount of time, a place of freedom? What about that 12-minute train journey between Clapham Junction and Waterloo? Right there, proofread it once and post it. And that's what I did. And I chose to post it on LinkedIn because that was where no one I knew really went. No one really read LinkedIn. And yet, 2.5 years later, LinkedIn is where I've developed and grown a following. Yeah, fairly modest by some people's standards, but quite a lot of people that I've connected with, and they've connected with me because of my writing. Not only that, I've reconnected with people I knew from years ago who've come and done work with me because they read my articles. Writing, as I mentioned, is one of the ways now that I process things, that I do my own work and take it out into the world, right? And sharing that writing is what enables my work to reach beyond the people that I'm speaking to. So there are so many reasons that doing your own work can be powerful. Should some of doing your own work be coaching? Well, if you're a coach, then I firmly believe the answer is yes. And that's because whilst doing your own work in any way is vital to you being able to support others to transform and to being able to successfully hold to your convictions whilst running a business, which can be a tricky thing. There are so many things you will learn about coaching from receiving it. You'll have stories to tell potential clients, which instantly give you credibility. They stop you being the doctor who says, yeah, here's a prescription, but I don't take it. Instead, you become the doctor who says, yeah, I've taken this medicine, and it worked, and here's how. And what a powerful message that is. You also learn about coaching, about creating clients. Like I said in the last video, that's an important part of shifting into the creator mindset. Because you'll see, what do I like? What don't I like about being coached, about speaking to a potential coach? And then you can choose which of those are the things you're gonna use. And the way I coach and the way I run my business, I've borrowed things from almost every coach I borrowed things from coaches who I just met and didn't even do work with. And I've learned so much from the 4 coaches over the last few years I've paid to work with me. So much. If you want to embody the power, the magic of coaching, there's nothing like experiencing it yourself. Then you know for sure what it's like, how it can change everything for you, your whole perception of the world when someone asks you the right question, gives you that piece of feedback, shows you something new. But also, if you're carrying doubts about coaching, is it even a thing? No one will ever pay for it. Well, find the person who you want to pay for it. Pay a fee that makes you a bit uncomfortable, and then feel how worthwhile that is. Find out for yourself if coaching is even a thing. Experiencing the magic of coaching is the surest way to believe in the magic of coaching. But also, paying for coaching, going through that process to buy it, it will just multiply by so many times how you understand what your clients are going through, and therefore how you want to go about doing your business. If you want to charge £3,000 for your coaching, but you doubt anyone will pay it, and you haven't paid it, well, maybe you're right to doubt that anyone will pay it. Find out, who is the person that you would be willing to pay that money to? And what would they have to deliver? What would they have to say to you in order to get you to want to do it? How would they have to be? And then when you pay the money, you'll understand, what are they going through? What's it like? And then you'll also know, when you go through that work, what do I need to deliver for my work to be worth that money? And you'll know, what happens to me when I pay that money? What does it feel like? And therefore, what's probably happening for your clients when they do that? You'll learn what it means when they say, I need some time to think about it. What it really means, because you'll know what it meant for you. And you'll be able to understand when to give them time for that, and when to say, no, I think you're just beating around the bush, because you'll remember it from your own experience. You'll know what it means when they say, not right now, another time. You'll know what it means when they feel buyer's remorse halfway through the coaching engagement, and what supports you when you're feeling that. And then, when you've got all this knowledge and experience, you can use that when you're on the other side of the table. So, if you want to be able to get through the challenges, the difficult times, which will come if you put yourself out there in the world and run a business, a coaching business. If you want to take advantage of the amazing journey of growth that running a coaching business, being an entrepreneur can be. If you want to believe more in coaching, understand more about it, and understand more what your clients are going through. If you want to do more powerful work, have a more powerful presence. If you want your life to change in magical ways, to be more who you really are, do your own work. Thank you for watching. I hope this video contains insights for you. It's been powerful for me to create this and the others in the series. And if you'd like some more support, if you've got that feeling from me, maybe like Joe did, like my clients do, then look me up, reach out. I run the Coach's Journey, my 6-month group program for coaches, to support them through these transformations, through these shifts, to get these pieces in the mix. Doing your own work, making a commitment, getting into the mindset of, I trust I can create this. And if you'd love to do that, if you're interested in that, I'd love to hear from you. and good luck on the journey.